It was always a dream of mine to get to lead worship with my future husband. My dear Benjamin, you are better than anything I could ever ask for or any dream I could have. You constantly reflect Christ through your character and how selflessly you love me, regardless of how you feel. You've walked through the trenches with me, confident in God's faithfulness over my doubts and fears. You're patient with me when I lose all control. You've literally held me together when I've fallen apart. You've loved me when I couldn't love myself. You always put me first, and you intentionally care for me above yourself. You love so unconditionally, regardless of how I've treated you. You teach me how to rest and be present and enjoy each moment that the Lord gave. You are the most consistently joyful person I've ever met. You are the best listener and my favorite person to talk to. You are an incredible leader, someone I always want to follow. You are beyond forgiving of my faults, and you encourage me even in them. Your unwavering trust in the Lord's provision constantly reminds me that God is greater than this world. Your heart for the Lord makes me fall more in love with you every day. I literally get to live the dream, marrying a worship leader and getting to minister together for the rest of our lives. You're my best friend and forever companion, and I'm beyond excited to start this journey of marriage with you. And because I know that life will never be easy, here are some promises I choose to make to you. I choose to love you when we disagree. I choose to love you when our finances are hard to work with. I choose to love you when I'm exhausted and burnt out from life. I choose to love you above my own wants and desires. I choose to love you despite our differences. I choose to love you when I become jealous of your blessings. I choose to love you when you're tired and crabby. I choose to love you more than my career or ministry. I choose to love you when we are walking through uncharted waters. I choose to love you and submit to your leadership at home and in our ministry. I choose to love you above anyone else in this world. I choose to love you regardless of how I feel in each season. And I choose to love you more than myself. I want to be by your side through everything that the Lord has for us. Here's to our future. I choose our forever.
Katelynn, my constant encourager, my best friend, and my closest confidant. I love you so much, and I'm so excited to get to spend the rest of my life with you. It's an adventure that I've been looking forward to for what seems like forever. I feel so lucky that our paths have come together and that we will get to experience the ups and downs of life together. Yes, there will be hard times, but looking ahead, I feel like those challenges are far less daunting because I know that I will have you by my side. I know that when I am down, you will be there to help me back up, and when I am doing well, you will celebrate alongside me. And while I will never be as good as you are at those things, I promise to do my best to do the same for you. I promise to be a strong rock in times of trial. I promise to be loving and gentle with you regardless of circumstances. I promise to keep dating you even when you're old. And I also promise to do my best to leave the toilet seat down, although that is something that may take me years of practice to get. I know you're not perfect, and you know from tons of experience that neither am I, but I am so excited to get to show Christ's love in our marriage. From random people we encounter to close friends and family, I'm so ready to be able to point others to Jesus with how well we love each other. I know that there will be times where I fail in this, but I know from experience that you will be patient and gentle with me, regardless of how much I mess things up. It feels like we've waited forever, but now we get to begin our forever, and I am so glad I get to do it with you.
Benjamin and Katelynn have chosen to honor each other with rings. They will wear as a symbol, as a reminder of the never-ending commitment they've made to each other. Benjamin, as you place this ring on Katelynn's finger, please repeat after me. My dearest Katelynn,
My dearest Katelynn,
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my vow
as a symbol of my vow
to be your faithful and loving husband.
to be your faithful and loving husband.
And with all that I am
And with all that I am
and all that I have,
and all that I have,
I will honor you.
I will honor you.
Amen. And Katelynn, as you place the ring on Benjamin's finger, repeat after me. My dearest Benjamin,
My dearest Benjamin,
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my vow
as a symbol of my vow
to be your faithful and loving wife.
to be your faithful and loving wife,
And with all that I am
and with all that I am
and all that I have,
and all that I have,
I will honor you.
I will honor you.
You can keep holding hands. Benjamin and Katelynn, you have been joined together in the sacred covenant before God. And in His eyes, you are one flesh. You are now husband and wife. What God has joined together, let no one separate. Benjamin, you may kiss your bride.
When I was asked to be one of his best men, I've got to say I was pretty ecstatic because I've been his roommate for 21 years. I'm going to start off with talking about the day that we first met, and which was the glorious day of my birth and his birth. Nathan and I entered the world and were quickly named by Benjamin, Nene and Da. Now, Da is Benjamin's word for that, so it was Nene and that. That's me. I do honestly think that Benjamin has shown such a great example of how to be steadfast and how to be faithful. And so, Katelynn, I know without a doubt that Benjamin is the most faithful man that you can marry. And so, he's going to be there for you and with you in both the good and the bad. To Benjamin and Katelynn, a toast to a life of loving the Lord and living in His example together.
So, Katelynn, based on what we all witnessed today, I think it's kind of safe to say that you kind of like Benjamin, and I'm assuming that you think you know a lot about him. Well, just in case you don't know everything, I'm gonna tell you a few more things about Benjamin. I mean, everybody knows about how open-minded he is about watching movies that other people recommend, and that he enjoys getting up early. But there are a few more things that you should know. First of all, Benjamin has a potty mouth. We were at the Bolivar soccer tournament in high school, and Benjamin was the best player on the field, because I was not in at the time. And he was so good, in fact, that after he scored a goal, he hurt himself by celebrating too hard. So he hobbled over to the bench, and I still remember Coach Krause asked him what was hurting, and after looking around to make sure that Mom wasn't around, he said, "My glute." Secondly, Benjamin is also a man of his word. I remember when we were younger, the Nintendo DS was the coolest thing ever. So, everybody had one. So we all made a deal that we'd help each other get one for each of us. So we got Benjamin's white one, and then eventually got Patrick his blue one. But I, still to this day, have not gotten my crimson and black Nintendo DS. But on a serious note, I feel like I'm supposed to welcome you to the family, Katelynn, but I think I speak for all of us in the Griffey clan when I say that you already were. Watching your relationship develop has been amazing to see, and I've never seen Benjamin's face light up more than when he's around you. And Benjamin, thank you for being a strong role model that all of us look up to as our older brother. I wish I did a better job at saying this more, but I love you. And sometimes I wish I went to college with you guys, because I miss hanging out with you. So even though you're married or whatever, don't forget about us. We'll be praying for you, and we'll come alongside you whenever you need us. Thank you, God, for this truly beautiful day, and thank you for these two wonderful individuals that are now one. I love you guys. And to Benjamin and Katelynn.
Hey everyone, my name is Kara. I am Katelynn's maid of honor and soon to be her old roommate. It's very sad. If you know Katelynn, you know she has the most contagious smile. She has an insane level of care for one another, or for other people. And fun fact, she loves pixie sticks. They are pure sugar, they're brightly colored, and they are full of energy. And that was exactly my first impression of Katelynn when I first met her. I remember one time she spent the night at the dorm, and her and Katie had a photo shoot recreation of Guy Shaw's food baby maternity photos in my room. I'm not gonna go into the depths of explaining that, but you should ask her about the pictures later. One time we had a candlelit breakfast with Krispy Kreme donuts. We sailed a crawdad on a long voyage across the lake in a styrofoam boat with an American flag napkin. We had a funeral for a frozen deer that we found in the woods at Mobap. We just had some great times. But all that craziness, we've also found times that I've found most special were sitting in coffee shops, pouring out our hearts to one another, crying in the hallways together, and whenever we just need a friend, just holding a hand, moments like that. And through all of this friendship, we become so good at understanding one another. Sometimes no words are even said, just a look, and we know. I met Ben around the same time I met Katelynn. With all of us being a part of the same worship band, I was able to watch their relationship grow from afar. When I think of Ben, I think of the color blue and strolling through a park. And when I think of Katelynn, I think of the color yellow and skipping through a field of daisies. And you would think they would make an unlikely pair, but I think that makes them the perfect pair. I told you before that Katelynn and I have a sense of understanding between one another, and sometimes we know exactly what the other person needs or is thinking. Through the years as I've developed this skill, I've seen how Ben has again and again provided for and cared for Katelynn in moments of weakness. And I've seen how his love for her has shown through his speech and his actions in a way that is truly only by the power of the Lord within him. And in turn, watch Katelynn uphold and support Ben in times when he is overwhelmed or he is run down. Each of them balancing each other out in a beautiful way that is the Lord's will. That type of sacrificial love is the love that God has for us, and the exact love that we are celebrating today. So here's to Ben and Katelynn for the love that they share, and may the Lord continue to bless you both and show you both the love that He has for us, that you can share to one another and that you can share to those around you. To you guys.
Katelynn, when you were little, you always loved to dress up and you would always sing and dance around the house. Well, today is your ultimate dress-up day. It's your wedding day, and you look amazing. Katelynn, you've always loved adventures, whether hiking or camping or skiing. Let's not forget your thrill-seeking with Dad, skydiving and hang gliding. And of course, whatever you like to do, you always like to go fast. I remember teaching you to drive, and you said, "I'll be a good driver. I'm good at Mario Kart and pole position." For those of you that don't know, those are video games. And I was like, oh gosh, that was not encouraging. I also remember after you went skydiving with Dad, and I asked you, I'm like, how did it go? You said, it was not as scary as I thought it would be. Well, really? I'm like, jumping on a plane is not as scary as you thought it would be? Oh, Ben, I hope you're ready for her. Since before you were born, Katelynn, Dad and I prayed for you every day to grow and love the Lord with your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to grow into a godly woman and you've done just that. Your joy for the Lord is infectious, and you've always put the Lord first. And I'm so proud of you. Now let's talk about you and Ben. Shortly after you and Ben met on that Spirit Wing retreat with Missouri Baptist, a small group of you began to hang out. And you and Ben became best friends. And then you guys decided that as your relationship grew, that you wanted to date. You would tell me, especially in the last few years, how much that Ben is so much like Dad. I would ask you in what way, and what are some of the things that you would say about Ben, and you're like, well, he's always joyful, and he's always so encouraging, he's patient, he's a good listener, and he's so kind. And I saw that when you were with Ben, you could be yourself, and you could have fun and be silly too. Katelynn and Ben, marriage isn't always easy. And it has its ups and downs, but don't let the little things fester. Talk about them and work them out. Communication is so important. Talk about them with one another. Also, let me encourage you to pray together every night before you go to bed. As it says in Ephesians 4:26, don't let the sun go down in your anger. It's kind of hard to stay angry when you're praying together. In Ecclesiastes 4:12, it says, a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Keep the Lord the center of your relationship, and everything else will always fall into place. Ben, welcome to the family. Katelynn and Ben, I'm so excited for you in your next adventure. I love you guys.